we're seeing these defensive backs out there right now, and this was pretty impressive. We saw Maxwell Harrison out of Kentucky, 4.29. This is somebody that Field Yates loves. You saw that speed on display. Big applause when he ran that. 4.21, by the way, is the record. We'll see if anybody can beat that. All right, let's read and react. Now, you won't see Shedeur Sanders throw tomorrow, of course. He said you'll see him work out at his pro day. He's been around here. And this morning, the Colorado quarterback made it clear that he is a program changer.
If you ain't trying to change the franchise or the culture, don't give me. So you should know history repeats itself over and over and over. And I've done it over and over and over. So it should be no question why an NFL franchise should pick me. You think I'm worried about what critics say or what people got to say? You know who my dad is? They hated on him too. So it's like it's almost normal. Without people hating, it's not normal for us. So we like the adversity. We like everything that comes with the name. That's why we are who we are.
All right, Field, what's the concern teams will have when it comes to Shedeur playing at the next level?
Yeah, I think it's playing more urgently in the pocket, Laura. Now, he took more sacks last season than any other player in all the FBS. A large part of that is a bad offensive line that he played behind in Colorado. But there could be a difference between a sack in which you get up and the next play you find a way back into it versus a more devastating sack where you're really playing behind the sticks. He is a sufficient athlete. I think playing from the pocket is something that can be coached. Just a little more pace and urgency when the football is in his hands to avoid some of those major negative plays.
So how about Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss? He's one that could rise up some draft boards, has a chance to make waves here. Dart spoke to the media this morning, made it clear he thinks he can help a team win now.
I'm very confident with the player that I am, and I feel like I can do whatever it takes for the team to win. And, I feel like I'm somebody who's a culture and organization changer by the way that I go out there, and I've had success at every level I've been able to win at a rate that hadn't been done before at the school that I was just at. So, like I said, I think there's a lot of great quarterbacks out here. We all have different skill sets and things that separate us. But for me, I feel like the intangibles of what I bring to the organization are kind of what set me apart.
Adam, what's the buzz surrounding Dart at the Combine this week?
Lauren, previous segment, we talked about all the teams that need quarterbacks. There aren't enough to go around. Jackson Dart looks like he's got a real possibility to go in the first round. If we remember last year and go back to the case of Bo Nix, people were not talking about him as a first-round pick. Wound up going number 12. It wouldn't be a surprise if it happened here, too.
Interesting. All right, let's go to Tyler Shough, who's 25 years old, as we told you. Adam's okay, guys. Don't worry. It's Combine week. We all get a frog in our throat. All right, he's exhausted every ounce of his college football eligibility. Shough has no doubt about his standing in this quarterback class.
I think I'm the best quarterback in this class. I think just the combination of what I've gone through mentally and experience-wise, and then in my physical tools. I think, I've played less ball, honestly, than some of the guys here, even though I'm older, just because of the situation that I've been in. So I feel like there's a lot of untapped potential for me. I feel like the sky's the limit, and, I think what has happened in my past has only gave me that passion to keep going further. It's kind of lit this little fire underneath me that, I want to go out there and compete and prove myself right, that, I am one of the best guys.
Lewis, what do you make of Shough as a prospect?
Laura, I love the guy. I absolutely love the guy. If you put his best 10 throws onto a reel and put them next to Shedeur's and put them next to Cam Ward's, you would sit there and go, look, maybe this guy's number one. When you just look at it throw for throw, it's 6'4", 225 pounds. I mean, he can move like a guy who's 200 pounds. He can throw from different arm angles. You can load him up with as much information pre-snap as you want, and he'll be able to decipher it post-snap. He pushed the ball down the field. The reason why he got hurt earlier in his career, they used to run him a lot. And then when he got to Louisville, Jeff and Brian Brown stopped doing that. He's going to put on a show out here when he comes out here, and I think as we move along, you're going to hear this name a lot more.
Dylan Gabriel, the lefty, he made waves at the Senior Bowl not too long ago. Looked really good there. Gabriel spoke this morning about what he wants out of his next team if drafted in April.
Great alignment. That's from coaches, players to ownership. I know that that's very important. A team wants a winner, wants a franchise leader, then, they know who to call. But I also just want them to know that I want a believer as well, someone who believes in my abilities, and I can go out there and go win games.
Mina Gabriel listed at 5'11". What gives you hope that he can make it in the NFL at that size?
Well, I think that he's displayed some of the characteristics we've seen when quarterbacks that size, your Russell Wilsons, your Kyler Murrays, have been successful in the NFL. That's the ability to throw on the move, to access all parts of the field. I think he has a good arm. He's very accurate to the intermediate level. He's a playmaker. He's a good athlete. He's some dual threat ability. Now, the size does show up on tape. I'm not going to say it doesn't at all. Sometimes pressure gets to him on the interior. But one thing I like is he has gotten better every year. And I really feel like at Oregon, he showed play under pressure that will translate to the NFL.
Yeah, he had the 8th best QBR when under pressure in the nation last season. What do we know there?
Doesn't have to work out. People know he's going to be a top pick anyway, and he has the tape to prove how great he is, whether he's playing wide receiver, whether he's playing defensive back. And I think you're hearing more and more about the top players in this draft having no interest in working out here or even at their pro day. That's going to be a new trend that we're going to see more and more of moving forward. And, of course, there's the issue of Matthew Stafford getting the deal done with the Los Angeles Rams. They reached agreement today on a restructured contract that will keep him in Los Angeles and prevent any quarterback trade from occurring. There have been interest from the Raiders, the Giants, the Steelers, but in the end, Matthew Stafford and the Rams recognized that it was right for both sides to stay together and move forward. And that leaves a gaping hole at quarterback with a number of franchises, including the Giants. The Giants now have to go figure out who their quarterback is. Obviously, they'll see about drafting one, but they're also going to explore veteran options such as Aaron Rodgers, which would mean he wouldn't have to leave the New Jersey area if he wound up signing with the Giants. He could stay right there, but the Giants are looking at their options, and they do include the former Jets quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
The plot thickens. All right, we'll see what happens there. I mean, how interesting if they were to get Rodgers and then maybe even draft a quarterback too, because they have that early pick. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the wide receivers who we're going to see out on the field. They're working out tomorrow in Indy. Here's a look at Mel's top 5 wideouts in this class. Travis Hunter, number 1, as you see right there, followed by Ted McMillan, Emeka Egbuka, Luther Burden, and Matthew Golden. So, Lewis, let's start with Egbuka. Why would teams be high on the Buckeye wideout?
Because he's a versatile inside-outside player, although he probably had upwards of 60% of his snaps in the slot over the past 2 years. You know what he reminds you of? He reminds you of the way he moves. He moves like Chris Olave used to move. Real smooth and fluid, real subtle change of gears, but you never see him get caught. He can attack the middle of the field, great contested catch guy, great run after the catch guy. I mean, he's just a very versatile dude. They put him in the slot and let him block a little bit. I wouldn't say he's Cooper Kupp, but he will definitely get the job done. He's just versatile, Laura, and he just catches the ball in contested environments with like this smooth, like easiness and grace. It just reminds me of Olave so much, and I think a lot of people would like to have a Chris Olave on their team.
Man, so many Ohio State receivers have had success in the NFL. Mina, how about Ted McMillan out of Arizona?
Yeah, he's my wide receiver 1. 3 things I love about him. Start with the hands. You guys know I do not like the goal line fade, but when you got a guy like this with hands like that and play strength, it shows up on these back shoulder balls, the way he attacks the football and then plays through contact. Physicality matches the 6'4" size. Yards after the catch. So he's not running this week. I don't care. I've seen him move on tape, and it looks like this. The stop-start ability, again, at that size is very unique. He's a fluid mover as well. He's not going to dazzle you with his long speed, but on the field, trust me, it translates. You see here, again, stop-start to avoid contact and then hitting the accelerator to get to the end zone. Plenty fast enough to me when you, again, consider how big his frame is. Speaking of that frame, finally, body control. Getting those feet, that is deceptively difficult right there. What you saw, stopping your momentum, keeping your feet down, and then turning upfield. It's all over the tape. The ability to get his feet in, both feet, by the way, in college football is something that is going to serve him well in the NFL. Lots to like about his game.
Love that game. Field, a great talent, but there are some questions surrounding Luther Burden out of Missouri. Why?
Yeah, 2023, Laura, this guy had all the rack available. This guy was a yards after catch machine. His production was off the charts. A lot of that same team was back in 2024, and the production fell off a cliff for Luther Burden III. And scouts are saying to themselves, what happened, right? Same quarterback, a largely successful team. It wasn't like this team had a terrible season and the offense just completely fizzled. The questions are not going to be about some of the physical gifts. Some of the power and the acceleration and the run after catch trace that you saw in 2023 did not disappear, but we did not see them nearly consistently enough. This is an important week for Luther Burden. We'll see whether he actually runs here at the Combine, but the interviews are going to be very, very integral as well. Finding out what contributed to your down season by the astronomical standard that you set for yourself back in 2023.
He has been such a key piece of that Missouri offense the whole time that he's been there. Eli Drinkwitz used him in so many different ways. Was a bit perplexing. I wonder if some of the injuries at the quarterback position factored in, but either.
A major question has just emerged involving Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings, sparking a lot of speculation. The deadline for using the franchise tag is quickly approaching, and decisions are closer than ever. Today, we'll analyze the situation surrounding Darnold, his future, and which teams might be eyeing his acquisition. Don't miss this, as it's a topic that could impact quarterback market moves. Before diving into the franchise tag issue, it's important to note what's happening with other quarterbacks in the NFL, especially those who might also be on the radar of teams like the Vikings. Sam Darnold's situation isn't isolated. There are several quarterbacks on the market creating expectations. Additionally, the moves around the scouting combine could have a significant impact on the decisions teams make, including the potential choice to sign Darnold or look at other options available in the market. The Minnesota Vikings have shown reluctance in using the franchise tag on Sam Darnold, especially after the latest statements from experts. According to Jeremy Fowler from ESPN, there is little indication that the team will actually apply the tag on the quarterback. This could open the door for other teams like the Giants, Raiders, and Titans, which are seen as logical options to sign Darnold during free agency. However, the situation remains uncertain, as the decision to keep or release Darnold directly impacts the Vikings' long-term strategy. What do you think about this situation? Should the Minnesota Vikings use the franchise tag on Sam Darnold, or should they try to negotiate his departure now? And if he moves to another team, which one would be the best option for Darnold's future? Leave your opinion in the comments. We love hearing what you think about these important moves that could change the course of the season. Now that we've understood the possible developments for Sam Darnold and the options in the market, let's dive into the big news shaking up the NFL. The Minnesota Vikings are facing a real crossroads with their decision regarding the quarterback. What will Darnold's future look like, and how will it affect the Vikings' plans? Let's explore this in more detail now. The big bombshell now is that the Minnesota Vikings might actually lose Sam Darnold without being able to trade him. The team is racing against time to decide whether to use the franchise tag on him, but the high value of $41.3 million could be a massive weight on their salary cap. This could result in the Vikings losing a valuable asset without anything in return if they can't secure a favorable trade. Speculation suggests that teams like the Giants, Raiders, Titans, and even the Steelers are eyeing Darnold, potentially sparking a bidding war. If the Minnesota Vikings fail to trade Sam Darnold, the implications could be profound. The $41.3 million franchise tag would consume a significant portion of the team's cap space, affecting their ability to make other strategic moves, such as bolstering the roster or seeking other important players. Additionally, losing Darnold without compensation could anger the fanbase and raise questions about the franchise's management. The quarterback market is heating up, and making the wrong choice could cost the Vikings dearly. Now, we want to hear your opinion. Do you think the Minnesota Vikings are making the right decision by hesitating to use the franchise tag on Sam Darnold? Or should the team take more of a risk and keep the quarterback despite the high cost? And if he goes to another team, which one do you think could make the best use of his talent? Leave your opinion in the comments. Stay tuned, because this situation with Sam Darnold could change quickly and impact many other moves in the NFL. Be sure to follow the updates on the Vikings and the quarterback market. I'll see you in the next video, bringing you more hot news from the world of American football.